they put us, our motorbikes down right in front of everything, so try not to make too much noise for the other people staying here. If we stayed down there, I think we got out alright without making too much noise. Right. Yeah, so it's 3:58 in the morning and we're into day 3. Ooh, hello. Looking for traffic, but it's unlikely there's going to be any. Let's see what happens here. Day 3 That's good to go. Whoop. Don't know if there's much point having my visor down, it's so foggy. Should just really have it open, I think. The main objective today is finish line before 12 o'clock. That's the priority. What we'll aim for, but he does want to try and do it right on 2,000 kilometres. I'm not that worried if I am a little bit over it, I just don't want to be under. Now he's shaved some off, we just need to make sure that we're not under. I've written down on my run sheet, today's run sheet, I've written down the speedo reading I have to have at the end for 2,000 k's, so I don't turn up there and then go, oh, actually I'm 5k short, and then have to get back on my bike and everything, and that's just more mucking about. And if we push for time near the end, then that could be the difference between getting it in on time or not. But I think we've sorted that out by leaving early, get on the road, get some k's under us. We've got 475 kilometres. Yeah, it was originally like 475 as a possum. Yeah, it was originally 475. I think Marty said he's got it down to 440 or something like that. And we're going to duck down into Tuatapere, like township. I've got a gas station there. I don't think Marty's going to fuel. He doesn't need to fuel up. He's sticking with his programmed fuel stops. But I was going to fuel up last night. We just didn't want to do the extra k's of going into town and back out again. So he said he was quite happy to stop on the way out this morning. So we've got a checkpoint and a fuel stop right here in town, which will be uneventful. But that's a state of where we're at right now. So I'll catch you up. There's not obviously a lot for you to look at right now, so rather than listen to me jibber jabber, the place we stayed at was lovely. I'd come back here. Well, maybe not on a TT, but yeah, that was good. Okay, so we're at like 6:45 in the morning now. The sun's starting to come up a bit. Marty's taken a few shortcuts to what the original route was. And we've got an arrival time of, well, mine says 10:16, so that's pretty good. We'll see how that tracks. Half a tank of gas. I do have the bladder in the back. The distance to destination is 260 kilometres, or 259. It'll be touch and go to whether or not that's going to be enough fuel to get me to the end. That's what we're banking on. There is a gas station very near the finish line, so if I can just get to the finish line, I can pretty much be guaranteed I'll be able to get to the fuel station afterwards. So we're just trying to find ways to not muck about too much. But if I need fuel, I need fuel. Marty can carry on to the end and I'll just stop at a gas been a cold morning, I have to say. It's about 12 degrees, 13 degrees. It's been about that the whole way. The lowest I saw my bike drop down to was 11, but yes, it's been a bit cool, probably just because of the fog as well. So anyway, we'll catch up as things progress over the next couple of hours. So we found a bit of a gravel road to do. Not really our choice. There was an accident on the road, so they shut the road, so we had to find an alternate way to go round rather than just turn around and go back. I don't know how far we would have had to go to find a way round, but there was a gravel road to the side, so I thought, oh, we'll go up there. There was a couple of other bikes ahead of us, but they just took off like bat out of hell, so I think they either know the area or something like that, so hopefully this is going to come out where we want. My guess is it's going to blow Marty's mileage out. But it is what it is at this point, I guess. It's a bit unexpected, and to try and work it out now when you're this close to the finish, trying to shave off bits and pieces would be quite tough. I'll tell you what, if I had my old bike, I wouldn't have been able to do this. It's a definite advantage of having an adventure bike when things like this happen. Alrighty, I'll just go along this 30k of gravel road. My old bike, I had one set of tyres on it, and as soon as I put it on gravel it'd get a flat tyre because the compound in the middle was so soft. And there was one TT, I actually got 3 punctures. Just because, like, there was one I drove on a gravel road, and then, oh no, I think it was 2 on the gravel roads, and then one, there was a checkpoint, and it just had some stones sitting out front of it, and they didn't look like anything sharp or anything, but yeah, puncture. That was last time I used those tyres, because they were just, and I can't even remember what they were, but I don't want to go bagging a certain set of tyres. But yeah, I couldn't believe it, 3 punctures on one weekend. It was actually when the TT was in the North Island, and the only one that it's been wholly in the North Island. There was one year they split it. They had two events running, but there was one that was just wholly in the North Island, and it was that one. I have to say, I think I'll keep this tyre combination. Like, I like the TKC80 on the front, like, that's not wearing out too quickly. The back one was a little bit quick, but TKC70 rocks I've got on my back, that seems quite good. If I was doing a lot more off-road stuff, the TKC80 would be the way to go, but being that most of the riding I do is, I mean, that's just typical, I think, but most of it's on seal. And albeit I might like the idea of a chunky tyre practically, unless you want to change your tyres all the time. It's just not really not a sensible way to do it. But this one seems like a very good combination. It's got a slightly aggressive tread to it. but it's been really good on the road. We haven't been in the rain, obviously. We've had good weather all weekend, thankfully. Looks like we're back on track, and that would have added a bit of time to our, yeah, because originally we were going to get in at 10:15 and it's now 10:37 it's saying, so that's added like 25 minutes onto it. I'm not happy about the extra fuel that we had to use. I was going to be pushing it before, but now I'm really going to be pushing it if I don't fuel up. I think I might have to. I can't see that I'm going to get there. So what does it say now? 20 k's, 200, and with the bladder, maybe I could. We'll see. We'll see. Alright, we'll carry on. Catch up as things develop. Bridge. So we've just left the last checkpoint. It was quite action-packed, but so much happened at once I didn't even think to start the camera. So I put the fuel that I had in the fuel bladder into the bike, because to be honest, she must have been pretty dry in there, because on the last tank of fuel I did 400 kilometres. I've never gone anywhere near that before, and I would have thought that the maximum you'd get out of it would be, I always play it safe and go 340, 350. Marty said that he thought I would get 370, 380, but yeah, it had, on the speedo I had done 398 kilometres, so she must have been pretty dry in there. So I put the fuel in, and in doing so spilt some of it down the side of the bike, so I didn't get all of it in there. But I've got most of it in there. Hindsight's 2020, and I certainly know how I should have done it now. I just was standing on the wrong side of the bike to do it, and it just made it more awkward, and it came gushing out. And then we were waiting to leave, and we were sitting there giving way to these bikes who were coming in, and then the last, well, there's a corner just as you approached, and we're sitting there looking up towards this corner, all the bikes coming around the corner, and then one bike went straight through the corner and up a bank. Marty and I quickly went over and helped the guy up. The guy, it was a young fellow, he was fine, didn't hurt himself, probably his pride more than anything. So we went and lifted his bike out of a ditch for him, or with him I should say, and I said to him, oh, so what happened? I was thinking, oh God, don't say your brakes have failed or something, and he goes, oh, I just lost concentration. So that's something you have to be really aware of in this event, like, or any of these long distance events, is that last couple of hours before you get back, your concentration is frazzled, and all your focus is just to get to the end. He was on a line of bikes, there must have been at least 8 or something bikes in front of him. These guys guys that he's been riding with. I think he was riding with 3 other guys, because I saw him yesterday. I spoke to him yesterday, and I'm sure he was with 3 other guys. So they had joined up with some other people as they were heading to the checkpoint, and he was at the back. None of them stopped, gave any help or anything like that. But they may not have seen it, to be fair. But the concentration, I've noticed this morning, guys started wavering a bit. I felt a lot better once we got off and spent a bit of time doing the fuel and what have you. I certainly felt a lot better. Stood there in the sun for a little bit while I was doing the fuel, and I moved my bike out of the shade where the photo had to be taken. Well, it just happened to be shady there. I moved my bike out of there into the sun just to try and get a bit of warmth into me, because it felt pretty cold after this morning, and I don't think that was helping either. And I did notice myself wavering a bit this morning on the way here and there. So this is where things can come unraveled for you. Now, actually, I don't know if I said before, we had to take a detour, and we ended up doing a gravel road, and that was they cut off a portion of the road due to there being an accident in there. So hopefully it wasn't another one of our guys or another one of the people on the event. Yeah, that's no good. But I mean, that guy was okay. He seemed fine. Like I said, just a bit of probably hurt pride more than anything. 35854. Well, okay, according to 35852. Apparently I've already done 2000k then. According to my speedo, I've done 2000k now, and we're about 50k out. 40k, so my speedo says 35855. According to what I worked out this morning, well, I had to get 35842. So there we go. I've done that. Right, so probably the next thing will be I'll catch you at the finish line. That was the end of the TT2000 for 2025. So it looks like I did about 2,040 kilometres. Artie did exactly 2,000, which, being that we rode together the entire way, is probably more of a difference than what I would have expected by any means. But that's fine, as the main goal was to get over 2,000, so I guess just send our photos in. We'll put their photos into our Google Dropbox that they've created for us, and they'll have the results in the next few weeks. Yeah, but it was a great weekend. Like, the weather, you couldn't ask for better weather, you know, even though we had some fog and stuff. That was nothing. Like, I've sometimes ridden for 10 hours in the pouring rain. 10 hours solid. I remember that one year. It was miserable. And I remember doing my last fuel up, and there was someone else there, and we were literally, that was an Amberley, I think, and the finishing point was in Christchurch. So we were literally just up the road, and there was someone else fueling up, and I just needed a little bit of gas to get me back down there, and there was someone there, and he said, "Oh, I'm going to have to stop." And I said, "Oh, well, what's up?" And he goes, "Oh, I've just had enough, I can't do it anymore." So he goes, "I'm so miserable, I've been riding in rain all day." I'm like, "Yep, everybody's been riding in the rain all day, mate." I said, "You're only just up the road, and the rain has stopped where we are now, so you'll dry for the rest of the way,
They're nearly there. And he goes, nah, I just can't bring myself to do it. So he went home. And like, I always kind of think, if you've done like that, he must have literally done 95% of the 2,000 Ks. But when you've had enough, you've had enough. And if he knew that was his point, then that's up to him. I don't think I would have given up at that point. Not after everything you've gone through to get there, but each to their own. I'd never judge somebody or anything like that. I just thought, I'm not judging, I just thought that it was really interesting that some people can get that far into it and then just throw in the towel. But yeah, it was absolutely miserable that year. Like I said, I rode for 10 hours in the rain solidly. Yeah, it was pretty bad. Anyway, so that brings us to a conclusion. We're heading to Christchurch now, and I might make another episode out of the trip back, depending on what happens there. But it won't be part of the TT, so I'll close this off now. Thanks for watching, and if you decide to come on this event in the future and that, say hi. In the meantime, if you enjoyed what you saw, give it a thumbs up, subscribe down below, and I'll see you on my next adventure. Bye.